Choose wisely.
Holy Grail Toys is the ultimate destination for rare action figures, exclusive merch, and collector-grade drops. And now, taking pre-orders for the Bandito 112 scale action vehicle from Odd Frog Entertainment, releasing in 2026.
You have chosen wisely.
HolyGrailToys.com.
The Sarlacc Digest, the long-running live stream podcast digesting Star Wars topics for over 1,000 years. Join them for all the latest news, rumors, and theory crafting with none of the drama or the bull. Live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Time on YouTube. And don't forget the Sarlacc Toy Chest, covering all the newest Star Wars toy releases and news from Hasbro, Hot Toys, Jakks Pacific, and more. Live every other Monday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Be there and keep it nerdy.
PlasticNews.com. All the latest from Hollywood. Toys. Gaming. Comics. And anything pop culture. PlasticNews.com. Don't forget the IQ. PlasticNews.com.
Technology. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you're just in there. I didn't think you could hear me. Sorry, technology's been bad.
Yeah. I think it's running with the two multicasts because I was hearing both feeds in the air at the same time, so it was like echoing.
Yeah.
It's a little different than it normally is, man.
Yeah, things are changing. StreamYard updated a bunch of stuff, but hey, look, now that the awkwardness is done, welcome in to one of the best shows, one of the most premier toy podcasts. This is Toy Box Chronicles from the SKN Network. I'm your lovely, gorgeous host, Chet Maddox, along with Alexander Thunderous Storm. How are you doing? Minus the problems.
No, actually, it's interesting. We're gonna get through it, and again, also our man Skelley's out there doing the work that no one else did. Everybody was off yesterday here in the United States for Veterans Day, but that means that whoever has to work the day after Veterans Day has to do double the amount of work. So, hey, Skelley, we know you're out there listening. Sorry, brother, that you're working late. We can't wait to see you next week back on the show.
Yeah, well, maybe he might also be jumping in via car, as he has decided to tell us so many oftentimes.
Yeah, no. Drive safe, brother.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Yeah, be safe. Hey, look, we have a good show, kind of off the cuff today. Normally we do a lot of planning. In this one, we decided we bring some of the raw culture that we bring in for action figure frequencies, along with planning. Also, not saying we didn't plan, but just wanted to point out that this is going to be a little bit more raw. So I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. It's a great show. So hang out and we will see you in a second. Every time that gets me. Man. So what have you been up to over the last week? Anything exciting? I saw you on Toy Chest.
Oh yeah, well, that's the big thing, man. We go over there every other Monday on the Starlight Digest podcast. We would do the toy chest. Very interesting. Had Tommy over there, and of course, obviously, Scott Solo and Darth Moocher. Fantastic show. Love to talk about things in the Star Wars world. Very interesting, some of the results, but that's behind closed doors. So we'll talk about that after we get off the cast. But interesting developments happened, I will just say.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, it's been a busy week. I think there's been a lot of good things happening and some interesting things coming out of Legion's Con. So
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I think we just jump right into it, and let's hit up. If you want to hit up the fan bags, they're going crazy.
Absolutely. We got, as usual, Commander Bly. Pack it up, pack it in. Let's begin. There you go.
Classic.
Dr. Brentley, it's Toy Box Wednesday. Well, technically, it's Toy Box Wednesday and, our Starlight Digest Brothers Wednesday and everybody else and everything. And Commander Bly says the best thing about Wednesdays. I don't know. You might not want to go on the other show after this, man. Darth Moocher, good evening. Yes.
Good evening.
Darth
Good evening.
Moocher. Yeah. And he goes, this is where he starts putting in. At Dr. Brentley, you should consider becoming a channel member. He should. Everyone should. Everyone should. Dr. Brentley is thinking about it. Judge Dredd, good evening. Good evening to you, sir. Nice to have you in. We've got, so let's see. I've got a couple of things. There's some guys having chats on their own. Like I said, skull. The emojis are out there working itself out. Now, here's something that I will say. I read this, and he does have a point about this. He says, so this is the Shadow Cat chat. And you know what? We're going to let Darth Moocher name that. So from now on, when we hit a set in the mailbag, we're going to go to the Shadow Chat. You can thank him for actually naming that. We're going to go with that and everything.
All right. I'm into it.
Does say I like that. And here it is. Also, Commander Bly said Veteran Day tribute that Steve made was amazing. Thank you, sir. $1.99. We will send all that to him because he does work hard. Let's see. Also, I want to make sure. Darth Moocher does say, yeah, I'm not messing with that streamer vertical change. And he got that.
Yeah, we so just so you know, we have and we are, and we'll let you know how it works once we figure it out.
Yeah.
I will tell you the advantage is that if you stream now on Instagram, you can add it and it'll do a vertical. So that's plus, but the YouTube thing is a mess. So
works up. Well, it's got to take time. CS Director, what's going on, everyone? Here's the thing that I will say, and I know this. He said, I ate for free yesterday. Thank you, Judge Dredd, for your service, because that means that you are a veteran. We appreciate it here. So, if no one said it to you, we're going to say thank you for your service, sir.
Yep.
And, it's like, may all your toy harvests be bountiful. He's absolutely right about that. The chat is on fire. And one thing that he did say that we actually did, which Forbidden Pass, happy Valentine's Day to all my fellow vets out there. And I did tell AJ that he did win the actual giveaway last Friday, so he knows. So, like I said, we're gonna get
on its way. Then, as soon as we get your information, it's going out.
Just drive it out to his house, man.
Drive it out to your house. It's driving out to your house. That's it.
Thank you for all the vets and service and everything. So, hey, got some guys out here today, and also, he is an Army vet. So thank you, sir, again, for your service. We're so glad to have you in here. So glad that tribute worked for everyone. We tried to do something extremely respectful. And, we just wanted to say thank you for all the people out there that put themselves on the line and have done all the things that, other people are unwilling to do in this country. We'd like to thank you. We don't forget about our vets here. And also, Forbidden Panel, thank you for your service, sir. He is an Army vet as well.
Yep. And we are, just so you know, too, we are working with the guys at Holy Grail Toys because we know the toy community has a lot of vets in there. So one of the things that they're doing is working out what makes sense in terms of a vet discount. So stay tuned for that because we are going to have more information on there, and it's supposed to apply across the entire site. So we're just working with them to figure that out. So pretty exciting about that.
Absolutely, man. You know, it's like I love it. Those guys are very conscientious over there. They're going to think about things that other people won't, and I'm glad that there is going to be that discount whenever they figure that out because it's something worthwhile, man. You know, you should if you serve your country, you do the work. There should be a benefit from it. So we here like to definitely give that out, and also want everybody to know that tonight, actually, I just saw his comic.
I did not confirm that, Commander Bly.
I don't know. Free toys for vets. Shit just confirmed it. I don't know. Like I said, the guys over there are gonna be pretty pissed off.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know. We could give that out.
I did.
We'll
Yeah. If that comes out, Commander
Yeah.
Bly, I'm coming to bunk with you.
Yeah, they might be pretty pissed about that one, man. So we might actually have to do a little bit better than that. But hey, we came up with something that's a Toy Vember. Everybody knows that, it's like we try to do these things. We did it last with Scaretober for October. Now we're doing Toy Vember. And if you've seen some of our openings and everything, you get a Batmobile pumpkin pie and some G.I. Joe gravy and a bunch of other great stuff on it. But from that, we decided to do little themes throughout the week. So this week is called the Multi-Lines of Madness week because it's madness if you are a person that try to collect multi-lines. We figured that out. We've seen that, right, Chet?
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, you summed it up. It's like if you are a multi-line collector, your brain is going. My brain's going crazy. I don't know how many texts or calls I've done with you talking about should I buy this one or should I hold off? And then a friend of mine was just like, "Hey, I have a Rumbler if you want that now," and I'm just like, "No, what? Hold on, let's hold off for a second." So yeah, if you're a multi-line collector, and multi-line, like honestly, even if you're like a 2-line collector, it's kind of rough right now.
Yeah, it gets a little 2, 3, whatever. If you're doing anything multiple, it's starting to get crazy. One thing that we wanted to definitely let everyone know, hey, what's up, Smug 17? What's up? What's going on to you, sir? And I don't think any toy company does a vet discount. Well, if they don't, then Holy Grail is going to be the first one, but we'll actually have to check and make sure. But yeah, definitely. Darth Moocher has stated that he has done this. I've narrowed my multi-lines down to 4. That's still a lot of madness, though, man.
That is still crazy, and I am gladly taking away most of Moocher's problems.
Yeah, and Judge Red said I cherry pick all the lines, so I guess I am. Yep. If you're just a Star Wars guy, you do Star Wars Black, whether it's that black or vintage. And you're just that, all right, you're not a multi-line guy. If you decide, hey man, I like this McFarlane and I like this Mezco and if whenever it's something that throws it out, and that's the madness. Because I do know there are some people that just do DC multi-lines.
Yeah.
And actually, Commander Bly just said also, Alex just for free toys for that. Thanks, fellas. You guys are the best. Yeah.
Well, I guess we've confirmed twice now, so that's weird.
Guess by the end of the show, I'll find out if my stock options over Holy Grail have been removed.
He said, "Chat, clip that." No.
Yeah. Don't clip that, Meeks. Don't clip that. Try to get ourselves into trouble. And I always said I'm heavily into multi-line collecting. Any character who has a rad design, I buy. Smug, you've got a point about that. It's almost hard not to do it. They make it too hard and everything. Judge Red said, whatever catches my eye, I buy. There you go.
There it is. And we have a little pop-up in the chat.
Here you go. Our boy Rhino Hobbies, which I will say, if you don't know who Rhino Hobbies, I'll tell you one thing, a little secret that we know. This man does the best Korean barbecue. He manages the grill better than anyone else. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever have a Korean barbecue, Rhino Hobbies is the man to man the grill. And matter of fact, he does it so well, you're going to have to pay him to do it.
That is true. That is a true statement, actually. Which reminds me, too, we want to thank everyone for being a Shadow Nose member. If you haven't done it, jump in. Little side note here. Coming up on Friday, we're actually doing I believe we're doing another Shadow member giveaway, which is kind of rad. This one was, I think this one's being donated by Rad himself. So again, thank you everyone to being a Shadow Nose Network member. The Shadow Elite Rhino Hobbies was one of the original elites. Much appreciated. Thank you, sir. So yeah, excited. So yeah, this Friday, join in 7 p.m., 10 p.m. Eastern. we're gonna be doing another giveaway, and you saw how we did it, so we're gonna be doing it that way too. So,
and Darth Moocher said this, and we've tasked our newest member Skelley into working into this one. We need a meetup soon, and I think the Sorlac, the SKN, and then any other SoCal. I know Anime Figure Collector and a bunch of guys are out here, so we will. So I told Skelley to task him with this, and we're definitely going to do this. That's something that I think that we've been really trying to just plan on and see what we can do, and how we can actually do it a little bit better. That's one of those ones that we're working on right now actively. So that is in the cards.
Also, too, I've been thinking about it, but if you're in the SoCal area, there's a high probability I'm going to be doing a lot of cooking on Thanksgiving for Friendsgiving for people that just want to swing by and say hi. So more on that to come, but yeah.
Okay. All right. So you go to get a free meal over at Chet's house. That we're always working. That does work and everything else like that. But yeah, so also Tripping with Toys. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you, sir. And actually, for Ben Panel said he's down, brother. He's down. And then Commander Bly does want to say this though. Great, another rigged giveaway to Dr. Ridley's alternate account and everything else like that. I don't know about that. And everything says, I'm at the point where I have no more space for on the shelf, but I can't stop collecting cool toys. That's why you have a storage unit.
Yeah.
That's why you pay that extra $200, $300 a month or something.
Darth Butcher, I'm down, man. Just message me if you want to do it on all. If anything, you and I at least. That'd be rad.
Yep, there you go. But yeah, like you said, this is the one thing we started thinking about because Hasbro kind of really did that in the month of Scare-tober, because it was a scare every time you started looking at your bill. So if you were into like Marvel Legends, into G.I. Joe Classified, into Transformers, whatever you were in that month, a bunch of stuff dropped all at once. So as I was going, because you were out of town and I was going back and forth to your house and just loading the stuff in, it just really kind of hit me about what happens when you're just a multi-line collector. We throw in the psyche of we get drops, if you're into Star Wars Black Series, you're getting a drop every couple of months or something, maybe a couple times a year. But if you're a multi-line collector, it could be twice a month, no matter what you're ordering. It could be from Transformers, from G.I. Joe. I got into Operation Monster Force. A bunch of Operation Monster Force stuff from Fresh Monkey Fiction dropped at the house. We also, if you're into Mayfex, I said Figure Arts, anything, this is where it starts hitting you at, that you start really noticing, I got a problem, because it's like when it's multiple packages that hit your house and they're from different carriers, or whether it's McFarlane or whoever, that's when wow, I hit a problem, man. Right here, it's just that new Acid Rain 6-inch. I will give him that. It's got my attention. The minute I saw the no, that's the
I know it's this good, but it's bigger. And I am real into that Acid Rain line.
And let's see. Oh, see right there, Action J. Love that name, brother. Multi-line collection is killing me. It's killing everybody. It's killing everybody. Matter of fact, in the chat, let me know how many multi-lines you're collecting. Round up the numbers. If you're doing 4, put 4 in the chat. You're doing 5 and everything. Let's see how many multi-lines that you're collecting, because I think I'm at possibly 10, maybe. If I count imports and everything else. Because while I'm not a Transformer fan and a collector, I am a Transformer fan and collector, because I bought numerous stuff this year. Also, word out, if you're hitting over to Ross, the RossCon is on. The RossCon, look, we gave NECA some crap last year. We did, Chet. Because NECA deserves some of that stuff. I'll be honest with you,
Yep.
And, it's one of those things where, like Judge Dredd said, I cancel a lot of stuff these days, so too many drops at once. Yes, I had
to go in and do that exact thing. Multi-lines is killing me with the Transformers. I have at least 8. I had to get very specific on my Transformer line, like Moocher did, where he sold 4 of his lines. Transformers, I'm Studio 86, and I try real hard to stick with that. So
Moocher says he's 4 solid line. Okay. Stunt lines. Rhino Hobbies was 7. Smug says how many lines I collect, all of them. That's definitely one. I've never counted. Don't then judge. Don't, because if you start counting, it'll only break your heart.
Yep.
And I just collect combiners only now. Well, you narrowed that down, but they are making a bunch of combiners all over the place, man. Action J says 10, all, and then some pickups and some and I
Some
choose
pick and choose
lines.
lines. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, he's got that right. And it says, if I don't fit, I can't commit. Yep, all right. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And yeah, it's just all these lines, man. It definitely making things a little bit more. But I think I'm about at 10 lines. But we were like, if you haven't been over to Ross in your areas, you know that it's the annual RossCon. And a lot of people, whether they debate that's good or bad or whatever. And I noticed that like a line that I thought I wasn't going to get into, but the price was so right, was Universal Monsters over at NECA. And we started seeing some bangers start hitting out, and they're starting to hit not the regular price that they have it at, at 35 to 45 bucks. It's kind of like, you're like, like I'm not then. But when you're in the store and you see for $16.99, you're like, oh yeah, I can rock with that, man.
Yeah.
I can rock with that. So
yeah, they had the movie monsters. They had Frankenstein, the color one, and then they had the Dracula black and white. So we got both of those.
Got the Dracula black and white right here. So that's a new one. Before the last week, picked up some gargoyles. So there's several of these is out. And then I was out today and everything, and I promised myself I wouldn't stop by Ross, but I saw one that we hadn't been in, and I found the thing, which actually, when you look at that, is actually it's a cool box and everything else like that. But hey, I said I didn't have a Kurt Russell in my collection, so I definitely had to do that, man.
Yeah.
And this is
do hose count or just talking toy? Both is fine.
They're toys. They're
Yeah.
toys. Like I said, thanks to the toy makers shit is slowing down and the pre-orders are coming in. My wallet asked me to do a good to get counseling, and he's right. Yeah. Oh yeah, man, they start coming in, and it says Ross doesn't carry third party.
No,
that's true. You've got a point about that. But I will say there's Bandai has some figures that I haven't seen, and those were extremely nice at Ross. Actually, some of those were actually jumping off. And then also they had the Bandai line that Jazz wears. I think was that was Jazzware, right?
which one?
Remember they had Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man is Jazzwares, yeah.
That was Jazzware, but it had the whole different kind of packaging and everything, and it looked very similar to. They tried to make the design look like an S8 figure art, packaging. So they're doing some really good stuff. It's just let's not get started on all the Kickstarter back.
Oh yeah,
we have excluded Kickstarter on that, but Chet and I have a Kickstarter problem because I think we backed at least 7 or 8 lines, and then we backed that SWAT Cat book. That so yeah, we got a problem with that, man. I will tell you that.
I'm with Judge Dredd here. I do wish Mythic Legions would ship more than they're pre-ordering, because I logged into Mythic Legions, and I remember at the beginning of the year they announced some other figure that I was like, okay, this is cool, and I pre-ordered it, and I was like, did they ship that yet? And it hasn't shipped, and it's almost been a year, well into almost a year of not getting that. So I'm with you on that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see, Smug said, I'm grateful that my bank account is always in shambles, which means I don't pre-order stuff. Yeah, well, mine's just starting to get in shambles. My accountant called me the other day. He was pretty pissed. So it starts happening like that. Other people would say their wives and everything, but I have an actual responsible person. He's an accountant, and he actually was pissed at me the other day. So that's when I knew I was spending too much when it comes to the action figure points. But yeah, last month it really kind of hit all of us in a way where we were like, okay, hold on, this is getting real now. This is like the multi-line. And then if you were watching anything from Legions Con this weekend, you saw more stuff that hit you, and you were like, oh my God. First of all, let's talk about that Mythic Legions and their whole kind of mythical kind of like pirate kind of line they did with the crab, right? That thing was $100, man. And I was like, if you are ordering that, Now they got a dragon that they actually pre-ordered for earlier this year. That was a banger. That you're like, wow, that's a lot of money. Then they drop at the end of the year. They got you with another $100 that comes out your pocket. Like, wow, man.
That whole pack that they announced was $480, and that was a discount.
Yeah, yeah. And Judge Ritter only bought one fig this month, waiting for it and everything. I said, good self-control, Judge. I won't say that. I wish I could say that. You just saw 4 I just bought the last 2 weeks, something like that. So, you know, I checked my Ross a couple of times in the past 4 weeks, nothing but slop. Commander, we did too, and then the miracle happened, and Chet was like, "Hey, man, I just saw some monster figures." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." Then we got in the store. It's like, "No, we're buying this." It's like, no, it was buying. I started going around to see if we can complete like Lon Chaney's The Wolfman.
Yeah.
We could just see. I'm like, can we complete the whole thing and be done with this? And they're like,
Yeah.
great, because the prices are right there too. And let's see. I got 2 the Dreamstar toys on pre-order. Yeah, all right. You see, he's playing. There you go, man. He's getting into that. So I don't really buy any Hasbro anymore. You're saving yourself some money, man. But then you kind of like did. But Mystic says,
I feel like,
sure.
just
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
afford Hasbro anymore because Mythic raised their price.
Yeah, they got you. And it's like Mrs. Krabs looks amazing. Yeah, they're out there hitting you. But that's one of those multi-lines too. Like I remember it wasn't until I really had never purchased anything from Mythic Legions or the Four Horsemen until we were at Toy Atlanta. And the minute I saw ATL 24, I was like, or 25, yeah, I was like, oh, I got to buy this figure. And I remember we ended up getting those. And then I'm like, wow, the craftsmanship and everything on this is fantastic. And then I was like, okay, now that's like I'm in trouble now. And the minute you start getting hooked in, like, wow, this is a lot better than I thought it was. Like, they got you, man. They got you, man. So, but also too, again, at the same time that Hasbro was hitting everything because the Gamerverse stuff dropped, and not to mention, let's just talk about it. They got Marvel Legends, and they got the Gamerverse, and then they've got they got multiple lines of stuff, X-Men '97, and all these things, and all the things they're doing over there at Marvel Legends at the Hasbro side are really nice and beautiful. And you're like, okay, wait a minute, well, I don't really want this Gamerverse Wolverine, but I'm gonna buy him. And then you move into, and it just starts snowballing down here. And again, at the same time, last month, if you haven't checked out Fresh Monkey Fiction, and if there's a line that we could basically, like any good dealer would, try to hook someone else into the thing, Operation Monster Force, if you haven't seen it, it's worth your time and energy because, first of all, the box art's fantastic. So if you're an M-box collector, you're definitely going to want to, collect these because it's different than NECA. NECA has that little Velcro cover, and they use another one. Action J says, all of the Hasbro drops and then the big Monster Force drops killed me. Yes, it did. It killed me too, man.
Yep,
And
that's the problem with it.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? I wasn't until you gave me the Wolverine and Silver Samurai one. I was kind of like, yeah, I'm not going to get into this. And then I opened up and I was like, damn, that's probably one of the better Wolverines that I've seen. The Silver Samurai, not a lot of articulation. He looks good, but you can't really articulate. But that Wolverine, you can put him in every pose you can. And I was like, oh, damn it, am I going to have to go back and get the War Machine version and everything? You just start putting yourself more and more down the line. But AJ says this. He's absolutely true. And also Forbidden Panel. Let's hit that first. Said we've done a few of those unboxing for those Monster Force figures, and they are impressive. And I will say the same thing, AJ. Let me answer this from the Action J. I'm loving the Operation Monster Force figures. Here's the one thing that I don't know if you guys will both agree with this. The one thing I give Fresh Monkey Fiction, they give you more accessories than I think anyone else does in the industry. I got multiple handguns, a bunch of machine guns, and then I got like knives and everything else like that. I got 4 or 5 different hands, different heads, different. It was the most brought out, and they're a little bit more pricier than Marvel Legends at $34. But man, I felt like I actually got $34 worth of stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, I hope that Acid Rain for the 12-inch, or for the 12 scale, I hope they give more accessories than they did on the 1/18 because I got an Acid Rain one. I love they're really good quality, but it's like there's only 2 things came with it, nothing else. I like how MF looks. Just never bought any. Yeah, Monster Force looks great. I'm one of the few that actually likes their what is it?
You talking about Delta Red Fruit Builders?
No, I'm talking about the Bigfoot one.
Oh yeah, the Sasquatch. Yeah,
Sasquatch.
I think he's got a different name. Yeah, I didn't like that look on him, but I will say the Kilowog again. 2024. That was my figure of the year. Was Kilowog the werewolf, and that one's been popping up in some overseas orders. So I'll keep my eyes on that one for you because I know you missed out on that one.
Yeah.
Also said I'm in trouble when it comes to Velaverse launches the Black and the World War II line.
I heard a lot of good stuff at Legion's Con about that.
Yeah,
people saw them. I had a friend of mine, Deadly Dioramas, shipped me the Day of the Dead figures.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. I mean, it's a cool looking fig. So I could see where if you were a Valverse collector, you definitely would. End up having some problems when that drops.
Absolutely. And also don't miss our Friday show when we're doing the multi-lines that you should be collecting. And don't be surprised if you don't hear Valaverse in that line because they are doing some great stuff. And the figures and some of their newer stuff is coming out as well. So, like I said, again, I will say that, Rhino's right on this. And same thing with Action J. So many accessories. You can buy multis of some of them and then make them look different or so. And absolutely, that's the one. Yeah, you're right. Now, the G.I. Joe Classified dipped in that a little bit too. I think they saw what some of the lower companies were doing. So now they offered the alternate hands. They did that with the 60th anniversary line, which you can get a lot of those at Ross now for way cheaper than they were last year. But they started doing that where you can make multiple troopers, and it makes sense, because how many times you see a lot of these customizers, they'll buy multiples and then they'll go ahead and then they'll actually just repaint a couple and do it. That kind of saves you a little time, a little energy if you're doing that.
Yeah.
And let's see. Judge Dress said, I think that the Loose Collectors Bigfoot looks better, and I'm getting that one. I actually haven't seen that one. I know Loose Collectors is doing a bunch of stuff this year. I just haven't actually seen it. So I'm going to definitely check that out, Judge. And yeah, not to mention, too, I know there was a little bit of, they dropped some of the Youngblood figures and some of the other stuff they dropped out from Loose Collectors.
Yeah.
So Loose Collectors getting in the game as well, too. And, Commander Bly says, and I will agree with him on this one, SH just dropped the heat and everything. They've been dropping the heat all year long, man.
Yeah, it's been wild.
Yeah, they've got it and everything else like that. And actually, he says, I DM'd you too in IG. I know. I saw a couple of those, man. Like I said, SH Figure Arts it's getting crazy, man. I don't know, but and then this is the one where he's got Trippin did say that. What do you guys think about the Skelley 6? I'm pissed we didn't order that stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get all in on these.
Yeah, that one got me because I didn't know. I thought they were doing 3 3/4, and then I saw out of random an Instagram post about it, and I was like, "Well, wait a minute, why didn't we know?" It's like, hot dog, man. So I'm like, and that again, it fell down. So no, that's one that's probably going to go in the collection. I know Chet has a Robo Skull on hold, so
I don't actually.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay.
I found out he actually sold it, which is fine. Butcher found out for me, but it's fine. I'll find it. I'll get it.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure out there in the Evilverse of all the things that we're doing, somebody will just approach you with it. Or, like I said, we got that SoCal Joe show. It'll show up there. I can tell you that too.
Yeah, I'm in.
So I'm looking at that, but yeah, Acid Rain and I will say Skeletron 6. I was not expecting that to happen, and then of course you started with Skelley and his influence of these Joy toys and these turtles and everything else like that. He just keeps like again there's not a like excess of like people that aren't getting you into other things.
Yeah.
And Mooch says he will keep asking around. Don't worry, he will probably find you. Or Scott Solo will figure out a way to spend your money.
Scott Solo just walk into a Walmart and find it and text me. That's how that guy rolls.
Yeah. I just got a Robo Stole. All right. Like I said, that good pickup, man. Good pickup. It's like I got mine from the company. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's kind of cool too. Which again they're doing, and then what else did we see? There was a couple other lines. I think was it D13 that had the Black Jesus that David Vonner was telling us about?
I think that was it. Yeah.
I think it was and everything. So even if you're into Billy, and I was like, well, I might need that.
Yeah.
In certain parts of my family might say that might be a little blasphemous, but I'm like, hey, it's like, how many times can you add that to your collection? And it's like I got mine you got mine for guys, so I just read that. But yeah, and also what's any other lines that anybody else is going, like something else that you figure out there that somebody else needs to do? I will say, you and we're going to talk about this a little later, but like I think Hasbro's running into little problems because it seems like everything they're doing, other companies are starting to do. That license that they have, especially the Marvel license, is not exclusive to them. And we're starting to see multiple. So now we're in the multi lines of madness that we're going through. Like, how many more times do we see this happening where it's not just, Marvel? You finally say, all right, hey, man, I got the definitive Gamerverse version. And then they hit you out. And then you're like, well, wait a minute. Hold on. What's going on? And then they have like branding with other retail stores and everything else. And you're like, okay, wait a minute. Hold on, man. What's going on here? So let's talk about this. And I'll let you explain this one, Chet, because you know the world of fashion and you know what this is going to do.
Yeah. So the new collection, basically this collaboration that they did, the video that they had by like stop motion with this plastication is by far probably one of the best ways to like bring this to life. So look, I'm excited about this, man. I think that this is going to sell out as soon as it goes live. So
and I would Judge Red said this, and I'm same thing. I had no idea, and I had never heard this company, but then I'm not one to be in the the end of all things, and I'm usually outside of the box. So when I saw this, like, okay, I didn't even know this was a clothing branding company, but the minute you see this animation, and we've got a couple where you see the boxes on, but you just see how clean the stop motion looks, because it was an interesting look. If you're gonna in any way, shape, or form promote something, this is the way you promote it. I wish we could play the video, but we're gonna copyright strike, so we're not doing it. But if you get a chance to catch it, it's fantastic, because you've got Captain America, Wolverine, you got Mega Man, and you got Ryu, and they're walking down the street, and some madness takes place, and it is absolutely fantastic. Now, again, I know this is the collaboration between the two, and Marvel Legends, Hasbro. And then you've got Jada and some other people that are going back and forth with this, and that's all great. That's kind of cool that they've kind of got that, and it's interesting that they're doing the branding of that. But then, like I said, again, you look at the box and the packaging that Marvel Legends did, and this is a different colorization of the Wolverine that they did. It's pretty much similar to the one, even the accessories that you're getting is from the one from the actual Gamer 2 pack. It's just you don't have to actually buy a Gamer 2 pack in order to get this figure. So the cost is a little bit there. But then when you take a look, SH Figure Arts did like, hold on, I got you guys, and I'm going to show you what we're doing. And to run with the SH Figure Arts Gamerverse Wolverine, there's now we're looking at 3 different Wolverines. And that's where I'm saying there's a little problem that's running around that's happening, is that there's multiple lines, but there's multiple lines of different figures. And now the worst part you got to figure out is SH Figure Art worth your time? And says, it seems to me that all these companies are making the same toy. And Judge Dredd, that you be absolutely right, but there's subtle differences. If you $45 each for those, it's not surprising. When you look at the SH Figure Art Wolverine, it's look, I think the Marvel Legends, for a change, is the better looking figure. I think it looks more like the Capcom game. I think this looks great. It looks like it's an updated version, but it doesn't kind of dropped me as a Gamerverse one, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of the comments I hear about the Marvel Legends figures
Yeah.
is I think that the plastic is too shiny. And I know it's sacrilegious, but typically on my figures, if I'm shooting them for photography,
Yeah.
or I just don't like how shiny they are, I spray matte clear coat over them
Uh-huh.
to get rid of the shine, because I just don't like the shine. And SH figure arts aren't shiny.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the difference. Is they're more of a, I say probably for the more photographer based kind of thing. And I think if you just want a pure like figure to sit on your shelf that looks really nice when people walk up, it's that. Stone Mandalorian, what's going on, sir? Is it what's up, guys? And the chat. We've now deemed that now Stone the Shadow Chat. Thanks to Dark Moocher. And Judge Red actually said something which is very true. Is like I went with the 97 Wolverine for $20 on eBay. Actually, you got that at a pretty good price. I will tell you that.
And heads up, Judge, I did not miss your chat. I went and looked at the Robo Skull, and their site says in stock. And when you click on it to buy it, it says sold out. So I saw what you posted. I was just checking. So
yeah. And I will say the Stone hits up with something that comes in. Black Series, Hammond Collection, Marvel Legends.
There it is.
Now, the good thing about the Hammond Collection, you're getting some of those at a discount because every time we drop into Ross, if you didn't pick them up at Target or Walmart and everything, you're getting a pretty good discount with those when you're getting later, because those are getting a little pricey right there too. I'll say that. And then
I think they will.
They're going to do it now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Supreme's going to. They have to. There's no look. I had a streetwear brand that was pretty successful, and had this been more on my radar back in the day, I probably would have leaned into it. And there's still potential there, but yeah.
I will tell you that's the aspect where you're like, there's so many different versions of it that you're like, you know what, it's getting you. That this is going to happen. The other street brands are going to get involved because look, this one kind of dropped out of nowhere, man. So we weren't expecting that at all. And then this came through, and the first thing you see is the actual stop motion animation. You're like, well, wait a minute, hold on, what's this? And then you figure out like, oh, okay, they're doing a collaboration and everything with Street Brand. And I'm like, you're right, Supreme's next. Maybe think about it. We've just seen who's the character that they painted the Nike swoosh on one of the streetwear characters. And I was like, I know any day now, once they find out that this collaborations work, Nike's like, oh yeah, where's the Nike line? Who's wearing like maybe the jumpsuit mafia from the Marvel Legends will be wearing like, instead of Adidas, they'll be dropping Nike jumpsuits. Like, don't be surprised, man.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised. And
Nike, what Nike will do is Nike will one up it and just make clothes for action figures.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? Can you imagine that if like Mezco, because we haven't left Mezco off, because Mezco is always one of those things where Mezco, I think, does some of the best soft good characters. That lends them to that. Like, when is it that these manufacturers are going to make clothes for them? Because I think didn't that happen with Barbie, where they had like Gucci or Louis Vuitton, or somebody actually
they've always done collabs like that with Barbie.
Yeah.
Barbie.
Well, then who's to say that absolutely we're not going to get that with anyone? And actually they say 6-inch Jordans.
Technically, they've already done 6-inch Jordans.
But I'm just saying, wouldn't that be crazy if you could change like a character's shoes? Like is that really exploiting us to the last level, man? If they start making that like shoes, you got like little Jordan brands and everything else like that, and it's like $100 just for a 6-inch shoe at that point. Like, what would be the madness of something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think LL Bean G.I. Joe collab. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
What was that? What was the I always thought Black Series would do a stylized animated CW subline. I would be into that.
I would be too.
What was that that gift basket company, Harry's or something like that?
Oh yeah.
Like they could do like a collab as well. Yeah, look, I think there's profit, there's money to be made in it. But it's just a matter of who's going to get there.
think about something like let's just go. Let's go next level on this multi-line and madness thing. What if out of nowhere, like G-Wagon said, we got to have like a classified vehicle? Like, like Land Rover's like, no, you know what? Like, because this is open up a door to this where it's like, because technically with the street brand, it is another multi-line. Now, here's the thing, Chet, is that you think this new collab, do you think those figures reach an astronomical number and that actually will start the craze of more street brands and wares, and then you have to go chase down those figures?
I think it's gonna do one of two things.
Okay.
I think number one, streetwear culture is heavy. So my brand back in the day, that we were big in like the surf skate and like higher end fashion.
Yeah.
And if you landed on like a trend, it would blow it up and it would make it very, very lucrative to stay in that business. So you'll have people chasing that. You'll specifically have a lot of these streetwear like sneakerheads and people that like love this brand want these figures. And so that'll cause the demand for them to kind of like skyrocket on the third party market, because you'll get these figures popping up at shows that normally they wouldn't, right? Like you go to a sneaker show and this brand is there, they're going to have their figures there. People are going to see it. They're going to want it. It's going to be limited. It one and done. So it'll either drive it up or it'll just not be as successful as they thought. And it'll show the other brands that there's no point in doing it. It's kind of like with Hasbro letting other people do the 3 1/4 line to decide whether or not they want to do it. And then when it's successful, they decide to do it with Tron.
Well, yeah, that was a mistake. And besides, you know what? While you're mentioning that, while we're talking about multi-lines, there are some multi-lines people don't want to actually collect. And let's just run the numbers, because this is probably going to be the greatest failed HasLab campaign we've ever seen, because I don't even think it hit the 2000s yet.
It is at 11. It's at 1,143 backers.
Yeah, wow, man. Yeah, this is where I don't think you judge the fandom right. And I don't know if fans, I know they still have the 6-inch version of the Tron Legacy figures that they're gonna come out with. And I think at this point, once you saw the figures there, I'm sure that they've already into pre-production of this. So somewhere down the line, they're just gonna have to drop these figures. But this is not looking good for them at all, man. This was the one line, and you know what? I think if they would have done that at the time that the original Legacy movie came out, that probably would have done well during those eras. I think, I don't know if, like we've talked about this, I don't know if you dropped the Tron Legacy version of, or now Tron Ares. I think they should have dropped, instead of the original movie, they should have just dropped Tron Ares toys. Now we know the movie failed. Chances are the toys probably wouldn't have done that well. But this is just really, I think the dropping of the 375 line has really hurt people's whole thoughts of Tron now, because this is just, it's a dumpster fire right here. And it's a shame too, because, again, I don't know if 3 3/4 was the best way to represent that,
Yeah, probably not.
Is what Tron, what a deal, sarcasm. Yeah, it didn't work itself out, actually, Jay. And it would be sad and kind of funny if Cookie Monster had bigger HasLab numbers. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, if you did a HasLab Cookie Monster or Oscar the Grouch, it would definitely have bigger numbers.
I can just tell you right now, it's like, this is looking, again, we always have this real thing in Hollywood, whenever a movie doesn't do too well, and there's a joke that Dr. Brentley and I always use, he'll actually condemn that, where we know we've seen many a studio execs on a Monday morning have security walk them out the building. It was like, that movie cost a little too much, and a lot of people's jobs on the line. But the head of the company is not going to take that blitz. But the guy next to him that said, "Yeah, I think that's a good idea," he's gone that day. Well, in this case,
I'm not coming back.
Yeah, with this Tron, that guy's getting he got the minute that the HasLab campaign completes and it doesn't go through, somebody's packing up some bags, because somebody's losing a job over this. If this was a hell of a blunder, you don't kick off an actual 375 initiative and the first one doesn't even break like over 30%.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's a fail right there. That's a big time L on that. And it's a shame too, because again, you and I have talked about it. Some of these movies great. I think the light cycles, I think they didn't capitalize on to have the backdrop light up but not have, or the floor light up but not have the cycles light up. And this is the first thing you've seen. I think if they did Legacy and the 6-inch, people would have probably bought them, said, hey man, and then you could have dropped that HasLab and it would have built up a little excitement. But to drop this out of nowhere and
It's a little weird.
We're gonna do Tron, and it's like, you're not gonna do Tron. It's not gonna happen. And actually, Ron Hobby's hitting us with some numbers. Cookie Monster had 624 out of 3,000. Oh no, actually, Cookie Monster did real bad. Yeah, wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know, man.
When was that?
Yeah, Rhino, put it up in the chat when they dropped that out. Also, what do you think the final numbers is going to be out of Tron? You think it's got a chance of hitting like 2,000?
It doesn't. No, it won't hit 2,000.
Okay.
If it did, the most it's going to hit is 2,100. Maybe.
Okay. I thought there might be like people just because you know how every now and then there's some fans that come out of the woodwork at the last minute.
No, that's not a thing on this.
I don't think that this one's going to have any of those overseas orders because I don't know if anybody overseas.
Well, here's the thing: is I could have swore yesterday I looked at this. It said 11 days, but now it's got 12 days.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe they got to add one more to it just to make sure it sticks, bro. Every now and then you've got to just add and drop a little bit more to it.
This is also a really good marketing number for Disney for them to realize no one gives a shit about Tron.
Yeah. They did say after Tron Ares did such a bad job that they were like, yeah, that's probably the last Tron film that you see under that current administration. Let's just put this right. If they say that's last Tron, there'll be somebody else and there'll be a new regime that comes in 5 or 6 years later. Somebody's like, maybe we should dust Tron off again. And they'll probably get in the movie, man. And actually, Rhino Hobby said, I believe it was in 2019. There you go. And Ron said, if you could only add 12-year-olds and still not fund. Yeah. This one is, it's a shame when it happens. But that's a line that, again, not all lines work itself out. But, we're getting into this. So we've known, hey, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a problem because, it's a problem of our own creations. But, I think there was a point where I did not collect multi-lines. I was very heavily into one line. And then, I think with the articulation, I think with the Marvel Legends, I think really kind of did it with all the selection of great figures that were from the era of comics that I was reading that they started dropping. And I was like, okay, I never thought I would see these different characters in it. And speaking of Bobby Vala's World War II line, in a couple of weeks, we're going to get that Marvel Legends Wolverine in World War II. From the Hell Riders campaign, comic book that they did. So we're going to see how far they dive into that because as well as I do, they've got a Ghost Rider from that World War II era. And look, and it said that by coincidence that they dropped the World War II and then another, because it seems like all these guys are bouncing off one another.
Mezco's done that version of Ghost Rider.
The World War II, no.
I think they did.
No, they haven't. That character was just invented this year. So they haven't done it to that, not specifically for that. Because that book just came out this year. So no one's done the motorcycle yet. And I'm sure Marvel Legends will be the first. But, like we were talking, there's so many World War II lines. We were talking about World War II, World War Hell from Chris Scott. And he was saying that he had ideas for vehicles. And, when we see like a Jeep Woolly that pops out of nowhere or something, it's so many things. But I'm just like I'm saying, do you think that was a coincidence though? Because it seems like somehow there's like industry secrets that are kind of dropped, and every now and then there's like if you're doing a line, secretly gets around to another bigger company and they decide to do lines. So did they just drop this World War II just to drop him because he was dropped in a line and had nothing really do with that? It's not like it's a Build-A-Figure, but he just ended up showing up, And And Action J says he's getting his tomorrow. That Wolverine. Wow. All right, mine's
Yeah.
saying the 25th. I'm hoping they're still sticking with the 25th.
I think that there's definitely something happening on that end.
Yeah.
I think there's a reason for it, and hopefully they continue doing it, and we'll see. I think they're just trying to see how popular it was with Wolverine, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that Wolverine probably going to do well because that's at least that's when you're multi-dropping different version of a character. If you give me a character I haven't seen and it's the first time popped in, I was like, okay, this is definitely a version of Wolverine because again, we're getting a lot of Wolverines just dropping as well as many of Spider-Mans. But you give me one that looks completely different in a different era. Like, we've got that Spider-Man Noir that's going to be hitting. That figure is going to be dropping all over the place in the next, I say, 6 to 8 months.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the Noir one.
And then we've got a lot of we'll start seeing a bunch of these movie characters, and there's some people that just actually collect the movie line versions of whether it's Avengers Doomsday. There's a bunch of stuff. Just saw the I think Jada's got an opportunity with some of that Super Mario Brothers because I just saw the brand new Super Mario Brothers sequel, and that looks fantastic. So there's so many, the Simpsons from Jack's Pacific look great.
Yeah.
It just, I think it just keeps hitting us. So, like I said again, we would love to carry this on, but the best part about this is we can carry this on to Friday because again, Friday on Pixel Plastic Inc. Same time, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday night. They're going to absolutely have some banger stuff out. We're talking about the multi-lines that you should collect. If you guys have any multi-lines that you're collecting, you think it's great, that's the show to jump in and drop them in. If it's something new and out of the way, Kickstarters will be allowed to be put up on that as well. So, but we're just going to give now, again, let me use a pre-warning right here. These are just our opinions of the multi-lines you should collect. We're not telling you to do it. They're just the ones we think are the best that's out there. Transformers is in there. Just let our bot brothers know it's in there. So, and Dr. Brentley says like and subscribe, and that's what you should be doing if you're listening to us all this way, and you haven't done it. Well, you should be doing that. Hey, man, I am looking forward to carrying on this discussion with Rad and Dr. Brentley. And man, we get to this time every week, and it's kind of like the end of like when Mr. Rogers comes in, he changes his shoes and everything, and he starts going through. You just know that the show's ending. You think, no, I wanted some more, but we're just gonna have to continue this on Friday, man, because we can't cut into the best damn Star Wars show on any galaxy or any kind of airwaves other than the Sorlak Digest podcast, man.
That's right. It's probably one of the best damn ones. And I always look forward to what they have to bring up. But as a quick reminder, while you should be a network on the Shadow Knows Network, we'd like to thank our current members. Thank you so much for joining us. There are perks you get, and we are still updating those and adding to those. So make sure to stay tuned for those. But we want to thank everyone, the Shadow Elite, the Syndicate, and the Shadow Army for all being members. It is fantastic to have you here. If you have not joined the membership, but at least thumbs up, like, subscribe, and follow. And remember that while pre-ordering is difficult, we still invite you to keep chasing that plastic dragon. Until next time, I am Chet Maddox, your lovely, gorgeous host, along with Alexander Thunderous Storm. This has been Toy Box Chronicles, and now we transport you straight over to the Sarlacc Digest, and we'll see you guys all again real soon.